Oh.
Oh. Ooh, listen, just I was gonna sing John Mayer, "Waiting on the World to Change," because of but I don't even want to juju it. I don't even want to
Yeah.
jinx it. We are the world is what it's gonna be, and we're gonna be all right.
We
We
gonna be
gonna be all right.
Nigga, we go. Yo, Kendrick ate with that one.
For real, for real.
I mean, it feels.
Class, I'm talking about the election. If you don't know my reference here.
Yeah, I mean, listen, who knows when this episode's going to come out? But and I do,
True.
I'm sure election things will come up as we continue to discuss. But my only consolation is everybody, at least that I know, is feeling restless and scared and stressed. And again, like, it doesn't make me feel less stressed, but it's like, okay, it's not just me. Like, you know what I mean?
Alone.
Like, I'm not alone.
You are not alone.
You're not alone. I am here with you.
For real though, you know what I did say today. I was like, I'm in my "what would J-Lo do" era. I'm delusional because I think I'm just claiming it. I'm like, I don't know what y'all are talking about. Who? No, President.
I love that. I thank you for reminding me of that very poignant thing that I came up with. Yes. What would J-Lo do? I'm gonna believe. It's hard. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yes.
But look, that's all we can do. Whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen. And regardless, there's going to be work to be done.
Yes.
And we just going to have to lock in and do what we need to do.
At the end of the day, you know what? Your blush is blushing.
Thank you. See it?
Like, those cheeks are rosy. Damn.
I know. I'm just trying to change things up a little bit.
Why not? Why
just
not?
Give myself a little. It's like a high fashion moment. You know?
Yeah. Like the blood is rushing to your face.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much.
Ooh, wait. No.
Listen.
Listen.
Wait.
I hate you for that.
Let me fix it.
Hello and welcome back to Let Me Fix It, the podcast that says the touch, the feel of cotton, the fabric of our lives. That was my best Aaron Neville.
It was so good. And I was thinking about doing one. So please.
Right. I'm DeLon Grant. I'm an actor, singer, photographer, writer, and an educator.
And I'm Francesca Ramsey. I'm an actress, a producer, writer, graphic designer. Class, today we are taking on yet another brand that has had a significant fall from grace. We're talking about American Apparel, known for its product's simplicity, solid colored t-shirts, tights, and leotards. Infamous for its provocative ads, models in suggestively sexual positions, spread eagle, just fucking crotch to the cam.
I mean, I can't believe we were like, yeah, that's good.
It was pretty rough. And respected for its ethical production and work practices, American Apparel was a powerhouse brand synonymous with hipster chic in the early 2000s. And I just want to say thank you to Lon. There is a footnote here that says, see how we didn't say early aughts? Like, sir, you did it.
Let it go. Good job. Snaps to you.
But did you not do it by putting it in a parenthetical saying?
See, that's how you do it. You do it in the back. That's how you do it in the back, class. So how did this multi-million-dollar clothing brand that was the fabric of our lives meet its swift and certain demise? Grant and I will do what we do best and unpack some of the history of its rise and downfall, and then we will each pitch how we would fix it. So let's dive in. This is American Apparel. Let me fix it.
Can I do my Aaron Neville?
Yes, please.
Okay. In your chest, you feel a cotton. I
don't know how.
It kind of sounds like Maya Angelou a little bit.
Yeah, totally. It does.
I can't do the cover thing.
It's like a weird cover thing.
What was his big song?
Oh, I don't know. Google that. Let's find that out.
I remember my dad used to love some Aaron Neville.
I don't know why Boyz II Men came to my mind.
I don't know much, but I know I love you. That would be all I need. It is
that covered?
It's very covered, right?
Yes,
it's so
it is.
funny.
It's Maya Angelou.
Yeah, that's so funny. Gosh, man, give her a voiceover job. Damn, she does these impressions.
Please.
So, American Apparel was founded in 1989 by Dove Charney, a Canadian businessman who started the company after he dropped out of college. Now, Charney would be one of the major reasons for the brand's downfall. Put a pin in that. We'll be right back. But his strategic marketing decisions also made the brand a huge success. Before the company moved its manufacturing headquarters to Los Angeles in 2000, American Apparel had been one of the last clothing manufacturers. Slow down. Before the company moved its manufacturing headquarters to Los Angeles in 2000, American Apparel had been one of the last clothing manufacturers operating out of South Carolina. Now, this might not be news to you, Francesca, but in researching this topic, I found out that South Carolina had a huge textile manufacturing industry.
That is news to me, because all I know about South Carolina is my grandmommy and my extended family are there.
Well, it wasn't news to me because I was like, smells like slave free to me.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
North Carolina, South Carolina, that whole area was cotton country. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the touch, the feel of cotton. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And if you smell a slight, let me fix it, detour coming here, class, prepare yourself because you'd be right because I wrote it in here.
Don't worry, it's just a small detour. So in the mid-1950s, more than half of the clothing in the United States came from mills and weavers in South Carolina. And by the 1970s, Greenville, South Carolina had declared itself the textile center of the world with 437 mills operating in the state, employing 143,000 workers. Now, I wonder how many of those employees were descendants of the enslaved people.
Tell me about it. Come on now.
Who were picking cotton in the 1800s, building the infrastructure of that textile industry for free 99. Talk about that.
Saying, and what blew me away about this is if you Google South Carolina's textile industry, there is not a word about slavery. Not that everything's about slavery. Not that everything's about slavery. But like, I don't know how you
very convenient how they leave us out of shit.
You know what I'm saying? How do you untangle those things? In my mind, you just can't.
Yeah.
So it just feels like erasure to me. One article I read went out of its way, Francesca, to mention that at the turn of the 20th century, 1/6 of the white population worked and lived in these areas called mill villages. They had like schools and grocery stores. They were like little communities, and they were built by the textile manufacturers. But they said nothing about the black population in the entire article. They mentioned the white population, but they didn't say nothing about the black population. You didn't have to mention any population.
They
right?
said, yeah. We gonna separate the whites and the blacks like we do in laundry.
It's called Jim Crow.
we just not gonna mix them together. Yeah, no, that is very suspicious. Okay, so not that we are surprised, okay, because we are still out here waiting on the 40 acres and a mule that we were promised. Hold the mule, just give me the acres. I'm good on that. Okay. So back to American Apparel. When the company relocated to LA, it was mainly functioning as a wholesale retailer, selling blank t-shirts to screen printers, uniform companies, and fashion brands. If you ever purchased a homemade t-shirt during that time, it usually was an American Apparel t-shirt. So the company didn't open its first brick and mortar store to sell direct to customer until 2003, right after we had graduated from high school. Now, by 2006, the brand was at its peak despite a steady drop in sales.
Now, that's when we graduated from high school or college, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, college, not for Jessica. I had one more year in me.
That's right. Art Institute.
So to extend its growth period with an influx of cash, the company was publicly traded on the American Stock Exchange, and it did help because it ended in 2007 with $387 million in net sales, and I believe it because every motherfucker was wearing American Apparel.
Everybody. Well, and I also like in the research that I found, people were talking about it being an inexpensive fast fashion, and I was like,
it wasn't that inexpensive.
It wasn't that for a t-shirt. It was not inexpensive. It was like $40 for a t-shirt.
It was, and you know what the thing about it was is it was all about we are made in America, so you should be okay. Because I remember.
Which is smart.
I get it. Like I had so much stuff from there, but I had one of those skirts that was like a high-waisted skirt that you could wear as a dress
Oh
or you could
yeah.
like fold over, and it was like $50 and it was a
Wow.
plain solid red skirt. Like that was it. It didn't have any fancy detailing or pattern or anything, and it was 50 fucking dollars.
Yeah, every time I walked in that store, I had to think twice about it. I had to think twice. I'm like, yo, this is a t-shirt. I'm not about to, I'm paying $50 for
These are
this
some
like Henley.
shiny leggings for $70. Like it was expensive.
Yeah. So as Fred mentioned in the beginning, the brand was best known, as we were kind of talking about, for its t-shirts. And that was the core of its brand, but it also dabbled in, I guess, what we'll call like sweat athleisure wear before we're really calling it that. So like sweatpants, sweatshirts, baseball tees was a big thing of theirs, like a white
Yes.
center and the arms would be colored or vice versa.
Mhm.
Winter wear, bodysuits, undergarments. And a major visual signifier for the brand was, as we're also talking about, that the clothing came in like really, really bright, solid colors. And that
Yeah.
was one of my favorite things about the brand. Fran, do you still have any of your clothing from American Apparel?
God, no. I donated so much of that stuff. It's just like not my style anymore.
Yeah.
But I will say some things that I really loved is they had this dress that was a convertible dress, meaning you could wear it in a bunch of different ways.
Oh, is it like one piece of fabric and you wrapped it around in different configurations?
No, it was just like a regular dress, but the top had two long tie pieces, and you know she loves a halter. I love a halter, but you could halter it up. You could do it to one side. You could tie around to make it a tube. You could.
Cute.
It was very cute and very wearable, and I had it a bunch of different colors. Do you still own any American Apparel?
Fran, I still have two Henleys. And
Wow.
let me tell you why I have these Henleys. These Henleys, they make you look so fucking sexy.
Wait, what's a
But
Henley? Is a Henley a shirt?
a Henley is like, it's like a long sleeve cotton shirt, but it's kind of like not ribbed, but it has like little indents on it, and it usually has like a cut in the top of the neck.
Okay.
Like with like 3 buttons.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. I know what you're talking about. It kind of looks like an undershirt.
Almost, yeah.
Like
yeah.
what's the word that I'm looking for?
Like somebody thinks a World War II army guy wearing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But one is like this really deep purple that I love, and one is black, and they make you look really sexy. But because I am no longer as felt as when I bought them, it's one of those things that I'm holding on to get back into because I'm like, I look sexy in this.
Oh, yeah.
Trauma.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you should, we got an episode about body image that you should maybe listen to. Because we talked, my co-host
You
Delon
told
and I
yourself to
talked about getting rid of clothes that don't fit.
Throw that shit out and just buy some more.
Just
right?
buy a new one. You're like, the shit was $75.
That part. I sold a kitten for it. Shit. So one thing that put the company on the map, as we kind of talked about, was its marketing campaigns. The company blossomed during this time of shock marketing in the fashion industry, which is often manifest in overtly sexual ads featuring very, very, very young models. Alexander McQueen was the queen of this practice, but Tom Ford is also, his brand used it a lot. He was a practitioner as well. And though it was par for the course, the repeated shock of American Apparel's ads developed into questions about how much is too much, because y'all are pushing it. I mean, not that they had like, I remember they had like sex workers as models, and not that that's not a reality, like no shade, harm no foul, whatever. But the idea that like you saw out sex workers or porn stars, porn actors, and then you put them in sexual positions was like, what are you doing? It was just like a big question mark.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, we're gonna get into it, but like, it was also the thing of, okay, if you're gonna have, a sexy porn star and she's modeling lingerie, I get it. But if she's modeling socks and she's ass up,
you don't even see her face.
She's
it's just
on
booty.
all fours, and you see like 3/4 of the sock in the corner and the ass up, and it's like,
I thought you were gonna say, if you see one lip. If you can see one lip, one piece of that labia,
listen. I mean, honestly, we have some screenshots in the doc.
Yeah,
it's pretty suggestive.
It's very suggestive.
It really is.
So, despite the public's reservations, the company was named Marketer of the Year at the LA Fashion Awards in 2005, and a 2007 survey in Women's Wear Daily found that it was the 8th most trusted brand in the US at the time, beating out juggernauts like H&M and Levi's.
Wow, that surprised me. That
Right?
really surprises me. Sorry, I had to burp.
No, let it happen.
Now, class, we've all heard the adage sex sells. Well, it did catch up to American Apparel. In 2009, its ads in Vice magazine were banned in the UK because it could be seen to sexualize a model who appeared to be a child. American Apparel's response to the ad featured a American Apparel's response was that the ad featured a 23-year-old model and that it was meant to portray the model as a sex object.
My bad. I messed that up.
No, it's totally okay. And it wasn't that it was meant to portray the model as a sex object, but rather to show that the hoodie she was wearing was soft to the touch and should be worn directly on the skin.
Y'all got me bent. Y'all got me twisted in a pretzel.
Shut up.
Fran, there are some pictures in the doc that both of us have put in there. Let's
Okay.
describe them for the class.
Okay, so Delon, is this the ad that got banned?
This is the ad, which is class. It's this lovely. She's very young. It's this
This
lovely
is
little. You think this is PG?
Compared to what they usually do, this is not anything.
Heard,
She's
and
young, but she doesn't look like a child. She looks
Well,
like she's
she's
18.
Class, she's young and she's sitting on like kind of, it might be a bed, it might be a counter,
Yes.
but it looks like she's not wearing anything under the sweatshirt. And I think
Yes.
that's the problem. Like she may be 23, but she looks like she could be 16. And I think the reference is like, what are we doing here? And this is Europe. Like the UK, they also like, they be having titties out and everything. You know what I mean?
That's what's really surprising to me because this, I mean, she's doing like the come hither look, like the
Suggestive.
doe eyes, like, you know, her head's kind of down. Like she looks like she's about to suck a dick. Do you know what I mean? Like she's like, I'm ready. And you're right. She doesn't look like the first picture. It looks like she might have a little underwear on.
It does. I can see that a little bit.
But in this, there's 3 pictures. In the second and third, you know, she is kind of sitting in a way where you can't see that she does have bottoms on.
Right.
And then in the third one, oh God, this is so 2000s. She has those big, like, wireframe glasses that, like, your
God.
math
The hippie,
teacher would wear.
Hipster. Those came back. Yes.
They're just, like, not cute at all. They're so ugly.
You know what I call them? I call them kidnapper glasses. Like it was
Yes.
a guy with a van across the street, and you saw him with those glasses. You knew
The
he was going to take somebody's
Unabomber
kid.
was totally
Yes.
wearing these glasses in the wanted poster.
Totally.
Okay, so here's the thing. This to me does not warrant being banned. Scroll down to the one underneath this, Dawn.
Yes.
Please describe this for the class.
So class, it's actually cropped. You see this torso, and it's like at the shoulders to like above the knee, and the hands on the body are holding legs, which are also just entering the frame. So it's cropped. You don't see a head, you don't see a body, but the woman that clearly is laying on the ground,
Spread
and his
eagle.
spread eagle, and his crotch is like dead center. So it's like missionary position. It looks like missionary position.
Yes, and you know the implication is I don't know if you know this, but this outfit that this man is wearing, it's a plain shirt with a striped tie and a bright colored belt and khaki pants. This was kind of like Dove's uniform.
Oh yeah.
And so it's kind of implied that like Dove is sleeping with the models and like
I wouldn't be surprised if it was him, given his history.
It could be. I don't know if it's him, but like at least the outfit is something that he wore a lot. So
Yeah.
it does feel like it's supposed to be. And again, this is one of those things where like, what is being advertised here? Like, is that shirt an American Apparel shirt? I don't know. Is the belt?
Right, they didn't sell shoes, so
They didn't sell shoes. So like, why is this girl's legs up in the air? P.S. I would have worn those shoes. You know,
I mean, the
loves.
shoes are fucking cute.
She
Buy
loves
them,
an
find
Oxford.
them. Okay, and you know that's like a small kitten heel too. That's cute. This next one though is like, I mean, it is just, I mean, you can literally see the bump of her clitoris.
Yeah. It's pretty. It is a woman wearing. There's one panel where she's wearing a big sweater, no bottoms, legs up in the air. It doesn't even look like she has underwear on. I
No.
mean, you can see the seam of her butt, and then obviously she's advertising the sweater. But then next to her, it's bodysuits and thigh highs, and it is once again the face is cropped out, and the cropped out face feels very porny. It
Yes,
feels
totally.
like I don't want my parents to see me. I'm just doing
Yes.
this for some money under the table.
Or like it's only your body we want. Your face. who you are as a person, which is like your face we
Yeah,
see first. It
you
doesn't
got a
matter.
butter face. We want everything but her
Yeah.
face. So she's got these thigh highs on and a bodysuit, but it is like crotch shot, a butt shot, you know,
A lot of butt shots,
a
a lot of
lot of
crotch
a lot
shots.
of butt and crotch shots, and it's like this is not
You're not
like
even paying attention to the clothing that they're selling. You're like,
no.
whoa, what is happening?
No, and and even the picture of the girl who has the sweater on, again, it's that face of like it's kind of like a sex face. She's not smiling, she's not laughing, she's not even being like sexy. She's just like, ugh, I'm
Yeah.
ready.
I'm
Like
ready.
it's
Totally. Like, I mean, I'm in position. And two things
yeah.
that I didn't mention in here, Fran, are one of the things that we'll talk about their marketing that I guess we are talking about their marketing. But they got a lot of buzz and got away with a lot because they
Mm-hmm.
were known for like not photoshopping the photos and not
Yes.
airbrushing the photos like
Yes.
other ads did. So like All Natural is their brand. And the other thing I want to mention is Terry Richardson, who is now disgraced, who was like,
Yes.
got a lot of
He worked with
harassment
them a
for
lot, right?
sexual misconduct. Yeah, Terry Richardson was their main photographer, and it makes
Yeah.
sense because he has a lot of sexual harassment and assault allegations against him that like kind of
Yeah.
got him.
It's interesting too because like the whole we don't Photoshop thing was really pitched as like, look at how raw and authentic we are, but sometimes it just made the pictures look gross. It's like, no, you maybe should have like Photoshopped a little
And
bit.
also,
Like,
like, I felt like I could take that.
yeah, it almost felt late. It feels more lazy than a stylistic choice, and
Mm,
also feels cheap. It feels like we just threw this shit together versus sometimes you see like a Dove campaign and they're like, we're not photoshopping our models because
right.
this is about embracing real beauty. And this feels like we're not photoshopping because we want this to feel like a low budget porn and
Yeah.
where we don't have any money. And this was just shot on like I don't think, do we have iPhones back then? I don't know if
Yeah,
we had
we
iPhones.
did. We did.
We might have.
But they were the round ones, when the
Yeah,
edges
no,
were
no
round still.
camera on that phone.
Yeah.
But just the feeling of this was really low budget. We didn't have a lot of time because I remember there was one ad where a girl had like a bruise on her shoulder, and it was like, that's just gross.
What are
Like,
we saying? Again,
what
what are
are
we
you?
saying? Right?
Yeah, it feels like something not good has happened right before this photo was taken, and that's not making me want to buy the clothes.
Right. I would even, and not to give Terry Richardson too much credit, but Terry Richardson also popularized that like heavy flash photo,
Ugh, with a
right?
deep
And
shadow around
yeah, the deep
everybody.
shadow in the back. Yeah, and even that was a stylistic choice that I feel like worked better than like the natural light, just like no Photoshop. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, and even that, I think to the point, I think if you're going to make a choice, but at the same time, like, I think you have to balance how much you use it. And I think this is a good example where sometimes it works and
yeah.
other times it just feels too heavy handed. And I feel the same way with Terry Richardson in that flash. After a while, it was like, do you do
Do you
anything
do
else?
anything else? And also, and not for nothing, but I can do this. So why are we giving you all of this space? It's just a flash.
Yeah, on a white background, like you didn't give us
Yeah.
any set design. It's just
Right.
like, and it's people's skin is blown out, and it's just not
Yeah.
attractive, and I just don't get it.
I hear you. So, Dove Charney, the company's founder, also used political issues to give the brand cultural influence in an industry that is known, as we've been talking about, in an industry that's that dog, dog hacking.
I tried. I tried to mute. I tried to mute, and I just couldn't get it fast
When I edit
enough.
this podcast, sometimes I hear him in the back. I'm like, "Hey, Flags, just
Oh,
let me start this again."
okay, hold on. He's done.
Okay, great. So Dove Charney, the company's founder, also used political issues to give the brand cultural influence. In an industry that is known for using offshore labor in sweatshops, American Apparel set itself apart by being, as Fran was saying, made in America and being a fair wage employer. Charney was a bit of a visionary in this sense, and the company went along with this like strong pro-immigration stance, popularizing the immigration reform slogan, "Legalize LA." The company also weighed into LGBTQ issues after Proposition 8 was passed in California in 2008, which eliminated the rights of same-sex couples. American Apparel made legalized gay t-shirts and handed them out to protesters at rallies, which led to a boom in the in-store and online sales of the t-shirts. I thought that was kind of brilliant marketing.
Yeah, it was very smart marketing, but it's also just so interesting how it's like we abuse our employees behind the scenes, but we have these pro-LGBT
But our morals are in the right
merchandise.
place. It's like almost like hiding it. It's almost like a ruse.
Oh yeah, it's totally performative, and it worked. It was very, very smart, and it's one of those things where your outside actions have to match the behind the scenes actions, and I think that unfortunately that's where a lot of companies go wrong. But this American Apparel, they messed up in a few different places. So let's first start with the financials. The 2008 recession hit American Apparel hard. Declining foreign sales and the rising cost of cotton slashed profit margins significantly. And then there were the scandals. In June 2009, ICE found that 1,800 of the company's employees had dubious eligibility to work in the U.S. No wonder they were like, yeah, pro-immigrant. Legalize it. Legalize it. Fix this shit up. Let them in. Oh, my God,
so
Dub.
funny.
And 1,600 of those trained and skilled workers were immediately terminated, which some estimate cost the company over $4 million. And all of this eroded investor confidence. Then, after a very public outing by a professional auditing company quitting, Delon, what the fuck is going on in these sentences? Then after
that one's a little weird. I wasn't sure how to say that. This auditing company quit. I think it's called Deloitte and something. They hired Deloitte as an outservice company or outsource company to do an internal audit, but Deloitte quit. Okay. They were like, oh no, because Charney was holding back some financials, and they were like, we need to see these years of these specific things, and they weren't being given them. And then they were like, okay, this is a mess. Yeah. And so they quit, and it was a very public resignation, I guess.
Okay. Well, after that happened, some very specific.
Listen. He's sometimes a writer, bitch. Okay.
I mean, we get it. You just be throwing them SAT words. Give us the cliff notes.
Eroded.
I know, eroded.
What was the other one in here? Eroded.
I don't know. There were a whole bunch of them. Anyway. Okay, so after all that happened, some very specific scandals involving Dov Charney, the CEO, started to resurface. So back in 2005, 3 female employees sued Charney for sexual misconduct in the workplace, accusing him of buying vibrators for employees, conducting interviews in his underwear. Now, I heard about the underwear thing.
Crazy.
That's a huge thing. And then also, God damn it, inviting employees to masturbate with him and asking them to help him hire paid sex workers. Now, Dove, what in the world are you doing?
Like, I just think there's listen, I'm all about sexual liberation and do what you want to do consensually, right?
Right.
But the idea that you have to be on some kind of power trip to think that any of this is acceptable.
Oh, that's all it is. I mean, there is ample studies that say people that participate in sexual violence, it's not about sexual gratification. It's about power.
Right.
Because look, this is somebody who at the time was making a lot of money, was very successful. His face was very recognizable. He was very famous. There were no doubt people lining up to have sex with him.
Yes.
People throwing at him all the time. But that's not what these fucking perverts want. They want someone who doesn't want it. They want the element of surprise. They want
and the chase of it all, and the meat of it, right?
Yes, that's what they crazy. Get off on, because again, anytime you hear about these people doing these things, what you and unfortunately what happens, I saw a really great TikTok about this that was talking about when you have a lot of money and status and influence, it becomes harder and harder for you to get the dopamine rush of life. For us, when we work really hard and you deal with a lot of disappointments, and then something works out, you get a dopamine rush because you
Yeah.
earned it. But once you get to a certain place where money is no object and people say yes to you all of the time, you can have anything you want. I mean, this is why motherfuckers are like, I guess I'll go to space. Like, you don't have anything
Well,
else to do.
I've said this since I was a kid. Like I've called it genius but crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Or like when you're a Michael Jackson and to your point you have everything
Mm-hmm.
and anything. What else do you have?
Right.
What else do you have to work for when you've reached the pinnacle of it all? The only way to go is down.
Right. And so this TikTok that I was watching, and I wish I could remember how she phrased it because it was really brilliant, but it was talking about the idea that not that this is everyone, doesn't mean every single rich and famous person, but she was using Diddy as an example of like you start escalating your deviant behavior because you need to get that rush
Yeah.
and you can't get it any other way. And so some people, not everyone, they start pushing the boundaries of what is acceptable because nothing else satisfies them anymore. And this sounds like similarly, you've got this hugely successful company and you just don't want to fuck regular people. You want to make employees look at you in your underwear. Like, get a
Yeah.
fucking life.
Well, and I would add too, as you're building your career, when there is so much dopamine, when there are so
Mhm.
many things going right, that you become somewhat addicted to it, right? And
Yes.
how do you change that behavior?
Oh yeah.
You're not aware of it, right? You just have to keep going. And class, all of this mess was a full 10 years before Me Too. And so if you were thinking about that, we were too.
Hmm.
And Me Too shed light on the Me Too shed light on the pervasiveness of this kind of abusive behavior in our culture. What's nuts to me, Fran, is that no, these cases were completely thrown out by the courts, and these women were
Wow.
completely ignored. So Charney was able to continue. It didn't stop there. In
Jesus.
2011, 4 models sued Charney, alleging that he coerced them into sexual relationships. And his response? More harassment. According to one article I read, he posted nude photos of them online for personal fake blogs that he created. He leaked private text messages and photos to the media, which
Wow.
to harass them, which led to a second lawsuit. Go ahead, girls, right? Get his ass.
Hmm.
The same women for defamation, impersonation, invasion of privacy, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. And it didn't fucking stop there. The article also mentioned that a year later, a store manager sued Charney for wrongful termination, claiming that Charney assaulted him and called him racial and homophobic slurs. I mean,
Oh,
what you were
just
talking
all
about, like,
the isms. Put all of them in there.
it's crazy, crazy.
All right. So, one of the more disgusting and brazen accounts of his sexual misconduct is when a writer from Jane magazine, oh my God, I read this article because
Did
I was
you?
I was a Jane magazine girly. I sure was. Published an essay describing how Charney was masturbating in front of her as she interviewed him. It was obviously a huge scandal. This writer, Claudine Coe, eventually wrote a follow-up article asking, who was really exploited? We both were. American Apparel got press, and I got one of a hell of a story, and that's it. In 2014, the scandals became too much, and the board of directors who took over leading the company when it was publicly traded in the stock exchange fired Charney for misusing company funds. Now, I feel like you're getting off easy, Charney. You
Well,
know
he got
what?
off real easy.
The raping, the masturbating, the sexual harassment, none
The
of that.
vibrators.
The vibrator. You know what we're gonna do? You fuck up our money, and
Well,
now
listen. Talk about an American fucking story. Talk about a capitalism. You can do anything. You can exploit people to hell, but fuck with my money and you gone.
So, due to declining sales and financial mismanagement, the company filed for bankruptcy in 2015. A year later, they filed bankruptcy again and had to close all of their retail stores. They popped back up in 2017 after being acquired by a Canadian company, but you can only purchase their clothing online. Now, why is a Canadian company purchasing American apparel? I mean, it's still technically the Americas.
Well,
So, I guess.
think there is that. There is that. There in North America. But I thought of it as a homecoming, you know. Canadian Dove Charney's from Montreal. So they were like, bring it all home. Bring it all home. You know, we'll take care of it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now that we've gone over the rise and fall of American Apparel, it's time for us to do what we do and fix it. Fran, do you mind if I go first?
Please be my guest.
So they've kind of done the best fix that they can and like resurfacing online and not letting the brand go. It kind of reminded me of American Eagle, what American Eagle or what's the other one? Abercrombie and Fitch. Abercrombie's still
Yeah.
around, but they had a bunch of scandals too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Sexual scandals as well. So I thought like tap into something that we all know, enjoy, and we all can consume, right? So why not go with like seasonal holiday stuff? I think ugly sweaters, because that's like become an ugly sweater company. It's also clothing,
Okay.
it's cotton. You could like brand like around Halloween. I thought spring has sprung and make it all pastels, right? So really try to tap into like the moments that we all know and love and get us to buy stuff there. I thought fall forward, leaning into the daylight savings and just have their fall collection. I also thought like, why not pop-up shops? Why not go to like, are there these food truck farms or parks or whatever? There are a bunch of them in Austin as I visited my friend Cammie down there. Do a pop-up shop, and when people are sitting there outdoor drinking and eating, be like, oh, let me go over to American Apparel, right? Or I don't know anything about trade shows, but I thought like a pop-up shop there. But to stay in the clothing realm, dive into the seasons, right? Dive into Christmas and New Year's and Thanksgiving and
So
such.
you're saying move away from like the solid color of it all.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Let me be clear.
Okay.
I stay with the solid color. I think for me, for my money, that's what I like about the brand.
Yeah.
It is a bright, solid color. But go for Halloween, you're going black, orange, and brown, right? Or you're even coming up with Halloween costumes. Like for one, there's a Halloween takeover at the American Apparel, and you can get they partner with, I don't know, some costume company, and they help create costumes. But I like the bold colors. Spring has sprung, pastels, ugly sweaters, really bold colors. I think ugly sweaters is kind of fun because I don't know there's probably a company out there that does ugly sweaters.
Yeah, I just think when I think ugly sweater, I think pattern because I think like that's what makes it ugly. Like just a solid
for ugly
color.
sweaters, you could totally do patterns. That's like a specific thing.
Yeah.
But I think leaning into like the holidays. I think
Okay.
if they wanted to stay with the brand.
Okay.
Because I can see myself doing that. I love a bold tee. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I think you brought up Abercrombie and Fitch, and I think they did a really smart thing by being like, we're going to be nothing like the Abercrombie that you used to know. So they got like a female CEO. The advertising is like way more diverse, different types of body types. Similarly, my fix for American Apparel would be lean into like the feminist revolution of it all. And so be like, you knew the old American Apparel. The new American Apparel is all about empowering women. Same great products, no shitty, creepy CEO. And now we actually donate money to like different women's causes, like, like every month or something, or like this year, all of our proceeds are going to this organization. And maybe, how they used to have like porn stars in the ads, maybe like in the advertisements, it's like, paraplegic Olympians or something. Do you know what I mean? Like do themed photo shoots with women and men that are notable, that have like overcome adversity, that have like, I don't know, like
create a narrative around it. Yeah,
exactly. Literally just be like, we used to be all about sex sells and now we're all about like change sells. I don't fucking know, like, empowerment or whatever. And really just say like, we know that this history exists in our brand, and we're not saying it didn't happen. We're saying that we're making a difference by like completely rebranding and sticking with like the same fair trade products.
I was going to say, leaning into that part of their other brand. I think that's
exactly
smart.
Like, here's what we got right, and what
that's good. Here's what we got right. That phrase alone says, I identify what happened, and we're looking toward the future. Here's what we got right. Here's American Apparel. That's what you do.
So you know how like the American Apparel ads are like, bold type and just like American Apparel and like the names of the whatever. Similarly, it's like American Apparel. Here's what we got right. We did, made in the USA, fair trade practices, blah, 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 blah. And here's what we got wrong is saying, and like, here's all the bad stuff. And then it's more like, here's what we got right. Here's what we're going to do better. Or here's, here's where we are moving forward or something in that
If you
realm.
want it to be kitschy, I think here's what we got right. You list all the things, some of the things you got right. And then the last one is fired our CEO. That's funny.
That's fucking it. Here's what we got right. Got rid of Dove Charney. And you know what's funny too? You don't even fucking put his name. Put his name with like a censor bar or like
that's good.
Or like
that's referential too, because like it's like almost like XXX, like not suitable for what is it, not suitable for work?
NSFW, not suitable for work. Yeah, like put a little censor bar on his name so you can see that it's Dove Charney, but like for legal reasons, we're not saying his name. Even maybe there's a little asterisk at the bottom. It's like who that motherfucker is. You know what I mean?
You know that bitch. You know the glasses, motherfucker.
Yeah. And you know what? That even might be a thing too, where like I don't know if they end up doing like I don't think they did TV commercials, but like. Because his look was so well known, it's almost like you need an impersonator and you're like kicking him to the curb. You know what I mean? It's like somebody that's styled like him, even if it's just a silhouette and it's like out with the old, in with the new, like, like something like that.
Yeah, and you could, if you crop the torso like we saw in one of the other pictures and he's wearing that Charney suit and then like the glasses, the kind of like glasses that were in that he wore, and they're just in his hand, I think that will be like you'll get the idea, right? I love that. I think
with some like
great.
handcuffs on him or something. Taking out the
a
trash.
foot in his ass, like you said.
The tagline is, "This is what it sounds like when Dove cries."
Yo, she's a fucking writer. That is so fucking good. That is so fucking good. Brilliant. Okay. Did we do this already?
No, we haven't done this yet.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
Okay, American Apparel. Did we fix it? Let us know over on our Instagram at FixItPod or email us, lemmefixitpod@gmail.com. And now it is time for everyone's favorite segment, the Glow Up, where we give props to those who've turned themselves around without our help. But first, let's take a quick break. And we are back. Delon, do you mind if I go first?
Not at all.
Oh my
Not
God,
at all.
my fucking brain. Okay, so this is kind of a topical glow up. I'm going to say my glow up goes to voting. I have seen so many people who said this is my first time voting. And not just first time because I'm eligible. First time people like, again, I hate how much TikTok I watch, but the thing I love about TikTok is that you get to see people from all walks of life. And it's just so interesting to me. I've seen so many TikToks from people in their 70s, in their 80s, who've never voted before,
who
are voting. Yes.
Wow.
And so many Republicans voting Democrat for the first time.
Come on over. Come on over.
And a lot of, I don't know if you saw the ads that Kamala was putting out that was saying that you don't have to vote the same as your husband.
Oh, I loved them. That was so well done.
Very powerful stuff. And a lot of women saying, and so I saw, there was a meme of young people saying, going to cancel out my parents' vote. And they're doing a little dance. Very funny. We've talked about this before. Voting, of course, is not the be all end all. There's still going to be massive amounts of work to be done, no matter who is the president. But of course, there will be significantly more work if he who shall not be named as president.
Right.
But I will say it has been encouraging to see so many people, standing in line for hours, early voting lines being hours long. People saying, I vote early every election and I'm always in and out, and I show up and there's a line at 6:00 in the morning.
Wow.
More people voting in early voting in Georgia than voted all in 2020's election in Georgia. The numbers have been incredible. And so I just hope we can keep that same energy. We need it during elections between the presidential election. This
We
is,
need it for like what the stuff we have to deal with,
yeah.
right? Like I like that civic engagement. I would really love, and I speaking from the eye, right? I
Mm-hmm.
could definitely do more. But
Mm-hmm.
to your point, I see the numbers too. Like 79 million people have voted early
Yeah.
before today, right? And that's amazing. Of the people who can vote,
Yeah.
that's a significant amount.
Yeah.
But how do we civically engage all the 80 million of us, right? When we're not only looking at voting. And
Yeah.
I feel like, and I don't know the answer to that question, but I think that will give us a greater sense of the collective. We're
Yeah.
all in this together. And I don't know what, I know we have smaller communities, but I often think it's every 4 years where we look up like, we need everybody to vote. We need every
Yeah.
2 years or
Yeah.
whatever. But
But
like
those
how,
but those 2 years people don't vote. I mean,
yes.
the numbers are painfully low. You know
And
what
I
I
didn't
was
vote. And honestly, I did not start voting in those like the midterms until the Trump years, if I'm
yeah.
honest. I didn't know
Yeah.
that I really didn't know how. I really wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, it's so funny. I was at a party recently and they ordered pizza and it was Pizza Hut pizza. And I was like, oh, do you remember in school when you would like read a certain number of books, you would get a Pizza Hut party? Did you have that at your school?
Oh, we had things. We did have like challenges like that, but we didn't
Pizza
have
Hut
that.
had like a program. At least in Florida, they had a program where you read a certain number of books and you could get a free personal pan pizza, or they would do a pizza
Wow.
party at your school. And I'm like, we need that for everything. We just need to
Incentivize.
we just need to incentivize. I think this year there's so much on the line, and again, I'm heartened that it's gotten people inspired, but on the other side, it's like there's shit on the line all the time, but
Right.
we need to incentivize people, like, and we need to give them rewards. And I wish we had some sort of like, I don't know, little punch card. You vote this many times and you get like a fucking gift card or
not a, not
something.
a, not a, not a frequent flyer.
Yes, yes.
but to your point, I think adding on to that, I've said this on this podcast before last season about, and I think one of our round robins, but I think voting should be mandatory in some way.
Hmm.
If you want a driver's license, you have to vote.
Yeah.
But that's kind of authoritarian, right? No one
Yeah.
wants to, with our freedoms, no one wants to be forced to do anything. However, I would say to your point, I also think that voting day, November 4th or 5th, whatever, it should be a fucking holiday.
It should be a holiday.
And here's the incentivization of it, if that's a word. You get the day off from work if you go show them that you voted. If you can show them that you voted, you get the whole day off from work to go vote. I think that's incentivized.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing that I was thinking about, because listen, when we have national holidays, there are still places that are open, right? The grocery store is still open, for
Yeah.
example. And I think while I hear your instinct there, it's kind of one of those things where like then everybody would go vote and then like three people would be stuck at work, like managing everything, or do they just close the whole office? I don't
Well,
really know.
I think it's the same way we treat other holidays. Like somebody has to work.
Right.
The fire people and the ambulance have to work,
Right.
right? But we make exceptions, right? We
Mhm.
go out of our way to help those people who are our people who have to
What
work.
if you got an extra day of vacation?
Yeah,
Do you know what I
that's
mean?
great.
Like, I think,
Totally.
right? Or
Yes.
it's like, we talked about the smokers getting a smoke break. And give me a 30-minute extra lunch. Like just give me
Something.
a little something. I believe that would motivate so many people to vote.
I think so
Because
too.
because ultimately, a lot of the issues that are on the line are personal to me, but for a lot of people, they're like, I don't care. I'm
Right.
fine either way. I don't get anything out
Right.
of this. This is, an inconvenience. I don't get anything. And I mean, the number of Black people, unfortunately,
Oh,
that are like,
gosh.
I'm voting for Trump because I got a stimulus check 4 years ago.
And
Are
he didn't
you?
even give you the
And he
stimulus
didn't
check.
even give it to you. But the underlying message of that is people need money. People need incentives. And
Right.
that $1,200, while to me, I'm like, you're willing to fucking throw your rights and morals away for $1,200. But for some people, $1,200 is life-changing money. So
Yeah.
similarly, a day off of work, a fucking pizza party, like those are things that people will remember,
Right.
and we need to give them something.
Yeah, and I don't know why y'all weren't mad I was mad at the government. I'm like, oh, y'all can just hand out checks like
Oh,
this? I
they
mean,
could've-
you were not doing the math. You were like, oh wait, so we can solve the poverty problem, but we're just choosing not to.
Oh,
Got
yeah.
it.
Oh,
Got it.
yeah. I mean, they could have done that so many times over. And yeah, that was the thing that came to my mind too. Cause I was
Yeah.
like, oh, y'all, and it hit the bank account. It was an instant transfer. I was like, now, how did y'all do this shit?
No, you know where my bank's at? Yo, crazy.
Right. All right. What's your glow up?
Right. So my glow up goes to, as soon as Halloween ends, the blood just starts coming from Christmas. You can already feel that red. So
Yes.
blood? Why was blood? Blood was the first thing that came to my mind. So my glow up goes to the perennial song that we all know, which is turning 30 this year. I don't want a lot for Christmas, and there's nothing.
That
I'm giving
fucking
it to
song
Mariah.
has paid Mariah's way.
And them kids,
Yeah.
and probably alimony to Nick Cannon. Kidding,
Oh, no.
kidding. But yeah, it's crazy. It's not Christmas without that song, you know.
And one of the only like modern Christmas songs to break through. 'Cause
Absolutely,
all of the Christmas songs are oldies.
Yo, I don't know. I mean, I have to say, I like NSYNC's. It's Oh Holy Night.
It's just
Don't- You know what? Don't give me that face.
But Old
No,
Holy Night
Don't give me
is-
that face.
It is.
I know.
It's a classic. It's a classic.
I know.
So
But-
it's not a new one.
I know, but there are. Have you know what I'm talking about?
I
The
know.
acapella one.
Well, I've heard it.
Oh, she has no heart. Class. She has no heart. I know. I can't stand you. Charlie Brown's mom.
No, I'm just.
I have to go in like 9 minutes. FYI.
Okay, sorry. Yes, it's a good rendition. I'm just saying, in terms of when we're talking about Mariah Carey, she wrote an instant classic, and nobody else has done it like her since.
No,
all
and
I'm
she
saying.
got dividends.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys. So we want to hear from you. Do you think American Apparel should like be their bad question? This is a bad question.
Yeah. Why don't you just? You don't even need to. Don't do an episode specific question. Just go. Just go right into it.
Fuck it. Fuck it, motherfucker.
You've got 7 minutes. Let's go.
So we want to hear from you, class. Maybe you'd like to suggest a TV show, celeb, or brand we should fix in a future episode. Hit us up on Instagram @FixItPod or leave us an email, lemmefixitpod@gmail.com.
Don't forget, we also have a YouTube channel where you can see us shooting the shit, tripping over our lines, laughing, our beautiful faces, my blush. Go check us out, youtube.com/@FixItPod. And if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to give us a rating over on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, or your favorite podcast app. I'm Francesca.
I'm Delon, and this was
Lemme Fiction. The trust to feel like I fabric. Don't know much, but I know how to.
The lips are so tight.
Just how you like them.